Happy Tuesday. You believe it. I'm going to say that every time we get together, just so you know. Hello, everybody. Good morning and good afternoon. This is another live class for Beadaholique. I'm Deb Floros, and today we're going to be making a statement. Thank you, Eric, for that. So I've got a couple of trusty sidekicks today, the ever lovely Michelle and the brave Eric for hanging out with me. And I am feeling a little, punchy today because I love making statement necklaces, and so that's what we're going to do today. But before we go there, just a reminder that Beadaholique is closing, and that is a sad statement that I always have to make. But what it means for you is that there is a 40% off closing sale going on, and that means 40% off everything, like all the things. So I know everybody loves a good sale, and if you have not been to beadaholique.com to check out the sale, there are plenty of things for you to explore. Maybe find some things that you love, maybe find some things you didn't know about, and I think it's the perfect day to do that. So who is joining us today? I see Rhonda is here from South Carolina. Annette is here. Hi, Annette. Tanya, hello. Susan J from Seattle. Hi, you guys. So I hope everybody's having a great week so far. You probably saw Julie's show yesterday. Julie made an amazing pair of earrings. Be Still My Heart. So there are just so many things that we want to inspire you with while we still can. So as I said, Beadaholique is closing, but we are going to have fun until they won't let us anymore. We're going to keep having these shows and keep having these classes and sharing ideas with you guys. So I hope that all of you will hang out with us and hang out until we can't hang out here anymore. Oh, Santa Barbara girl, I love you too. Sharon is here from Iowa, and Francie in KC is here. Hello. Alice is here from Colorado Springs. I love Colorado Springs. Gosh, you guys. So one thing I thought about when I was getting ready for the show today is if you're not already signed up for emails at beadaholique.com, you should go to the website. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, past all the cool sale stuff, you can sign up. You can put your email address in. That will keep you in the know for the sale. So the closing sale is still going on. There might, you never know, be some kind of special thing that goes on. So keep watching that. Sign up if you're not already signed up. Let's see who else is here. I see so many names popping up. Dee from Miami, Florida. I love Miami. Aggie from Savannah, Georgia. I love Savannah too. And Annette is here. Let's see. Susan says, love black onyx. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about gemstones today. Carol McDonald from Indiana. Hi. Patricia. Hello. Thank you. This is a fun necklace. I'm going to talk about this in a minute. Monica says she can't wait for today's show. I think we're going to have some fun today. Tilly says she's in a secret location. Tilly, I love you. A secret location. I hope it's somewhere good, Tilly. And that's in Colorado Springs too. I lived there for a really short period of time, like 6 months. Becky Schumann from Hinesville, Georgia. Let's see. Santa Barbara girl says she's trying to be good today. It's puny thing. I don't know what that means, Santa Barbara girl. Denise H says she's here from Southeast Coastal Florida. Hazel, hello. Okay, so guys, I pulled this necklace out just before the beginning of the show, so I'm hopeful that Eric and Michelle can help me out because we're talking about gemstones and more today and statement necklaces. And I love statement necklaces. That's probably my favorite thing to make. If I really think about it, yeah, that's my favorite. And I love big necklaces and lots of bling and beads and just creating something that's unique and an individual design. So, oh, I see, Santa Barbara Girl. I'm keeping my puns down, no guarantee though. Don't worry about it. I love it. I absolutely love it. So the ideas of statement necklaces that come to my mind are sometimes a little bit wild and crazy. So I thought what we would talk about today are gemstones and then combining gemstones with other things. And in part to let all of you know that as part of this sale, because everything's on sale, there are gemstones and there are some really lovely, beautiful gemstones available. So I've added some to the show. If you don't know about shopping the show, there's a little shopping bag icon on the screen. And if you click on that, it will show you everything that I'm working with today. However, there's a caveat. Some of these things could be sold out. And I don't even know if some of them are sold out. I did check on a few of them. I know a couple for sure are sold out. And there are some that I put replacements in for. And there are some that are definitely still available. So gemstones are something, if you're a jewelry maker, you probably love gemstones. You probably love working with them. And what a great opportunity to get them at 40% off. So I've got some loaded in. We're going to be working with some today. And I've combined in some check glass, some seed beads, and some metal. So as I was trying to get ready for the show, I was thinking about other things to add. Now, if you were looking at the shopping bag, you can look at the shopping bag while you watch the show. So you don't need to leave. You don't need to worry about missing anything. So you can click on that and you can check out everything that's there and you can put it in your shopping cart. So if you've already got things in your shopping cart or you're just starting your shopping cart, you can do that today. And because things are selling so fast here in the closing sale at Beadaholique.com, you'll want to make sure you check out too. Don't leave things lingering in your shopping cart because they will go. Someone else will sneak it right out of there, not to be mean, but just because they like it too. So one last thing before I show you this necklace is if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, I can't see your comments live, but come on over to Beadaholique.com/live. That's the place to watch where I can see your comments. Yes, Eric, no cart lingering. And you can come over, you can share the love by clicking the hearts, and you can shop the show. If you want to hang out over on Facebook or YouTube, we love that you watch us there. But if you want to join the party, come on over. We're going to get going pretty soon here. So here is, I grabbed this at the last minute today because I thought this is a perfect example of a piece with gemstones, and it's got a little bit of a spooky season vibe. These are black onyx ovals, and I don't believe that those are available, but there are similar beads available at Beadaholique.com. And I asked Eric and Michelle if they could put in these prestige crystal skulls. So these skulls are absolutely spectacular. They are crystals and they are absolutely beautiful. There are facets on them that make them look super sparkly. And from far away, if you don't like, if you're afraid people might not like skulls, don't worry, because from far away, you're not really sure what they are. But they're also hanging from these tiara cast guru beads, which are super cool. And those are available as well. And they have a hole through the top, and then they have a loop at the bottom. So you're able to wire wrap something directly onto, oh, Santa Barbara girl. I see you. Dove is ahead of the game. We have some more coming. So thanks for that. So I just thought this was a really good example of gemstones and more. But I'm going to put this back on. Let's go down to the mat and let us take a look at what we're doing today. We're going to have some fun here. Buckle up. I got a lot to show you. So guys, this is Gemstones and More. And I want to start by, there are some more heads, some more skulls. These are sold out, but I put some others in the show. I'm hoping those aren't sold out, but it's starting to be the spooky season. Halloween is coming. Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, is coming. So get yourself some skulls. There are some available, both the prestige crystal skulls and there are some other hematite skulls that are out there. These magnesite skulls are sold out. But just thought I would show you those because they're fun to work with and they always please the crowd, because they're just fun and colorful and cool and you can do all kinds of fun things with them. So I just wanted to show you those. When I picked them out originally, they were not sold out. So I thought that, we would do something with them, but today we're going to work with all this. So I think most of what's here is still available. So let me move some stuff over here and I'll give you the descriptions on the pieces and parts. By the way, tools are also on sale. So that 40% off of tools. Wow. There's not a lot of tools left, but if you can get them, 40% off of tools is a great deal. If you need some tools or you just want to get an extra set or an extra pair of pliers, that kind of thing. So let's start with onyx. Someone pointed out onyx earlier. Look at these gorgeous onyx beads. So I am crazy in love with these. This is a lovely quality black onyx bead. It's a 10 millimeter round and you get this big long strand. Like it is a really long strand. These are gorgeous. This is a staple that you should have in your jewelry studio or in your craft room. A black bead, a nice quality gemstone black bead. You could literally put this on stringing wire and put a pendant on it and be out the door with a gorgeous, stunning necklace. Something that you could sell at craft fairs or a pop-up shop or something like that. These are beautiful quality beads, 40% off. These are interesting as well. I thought these, they're not black, and they look a little bit like they could be labradorite, but they are crazy lace calcite. So you guys have probably seen crazy lace before. I had never seen crazy lace calcite in this color. And these are, these are 6 millimeter. So they look a little broody and they look really cool with the black. So you could, again, take these two beads, string them up together. You've got a fancy, fun necklace. So I thought we might work with those. And then this one. So I know these are available and these are just cool. So we've all seen dagger beads. We've all seen like the really long magnesite beads that are kind of a dagger. These are kind of an in-between. This shape isn't what I'm used to seeing with magnesite daggers. So these are 20 millimeter. They're called spikes. They come in black and red. And these, of course, are the black. They are 20 millimeter, and you get this long strand of them. So they're a stone, they're a dyed stone, but they are fun. So this is going to add some movement and some texture and some interest to our design today. We're going to do a statement necklace that's a little bit edgy, a little bit glamorous, and these are going to add that edge. Now, I thought that I would pull out a pop of color. Now, these are not stone, so we're doing gemstones and more. This is a strawberry colored check round bead. Actually, it's Pacifica strawberry, and it's 4 millimeter. It's a really lovely color, so it's kind of a cross between orange and pink. And I wouldn't necessarily call this strawberry myself, but I love the color of it. It's kind of a salmon tone, or you know, something in that range. And I really love this color with black, and I really love it with this opalite vibe. So I pulled out 3 different strands of this opalite look because I found these cool pendants. These are so incredibly cool. This is a really nice pendant. So it has 2 loops up top. I added the jump rings, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. It's got this opalite a little cabochon in the center that looks very fancy. And I thought these 3 options of beads look really cool with it. So I pulled a 6mm white opal rondelle Chinese crystal, which is this, and it matches this perfectly. I also pulled out these little angel wings, which are so lovely. We might pull these in. They add some texture and some interest. Just a really fun, you know, interesting shape. And then these are, oops, I'm dropping everything here. These are fire polish, and they are a 4mm round, and they are absolutely luminous. So this combination with a pop of color, some dramatic black, maybe some of this broody crazy lace calcite, maybe some of these. Look at this combination. I'm in love. So I think this could be really cool. Now, this necklace design may not be for everybody, but what I hope when I do these shows is that you guys will take some inspiration away. So maybe you don't like the big beads, or you don't like these. You can do your own thing. You can create your own vibe, and you can take away some ideas. And because some of these things may not be available, I've put in some replacements into the shopping bag so that you can see some other options for yourself. So let's take a look at what I'm thinking for a design. Oh, and by the way, these are going to be impossible for you to see, but these are some Toho round seed beads. They are 11.0 transparent crystal, and they are so transparent you can barely see them. So seed beads are also part of the amazing closing sale. So these are 11.0s, transparent crystal, and I'm going to use these as spacers today. So they're just going to add that continuity around the design. So I'm going to pull everything aside for a second, and we're going to design this from the center of the piece. So I love these pendants so much that I'm going to use 3. Now, I think these are super elegant, but I also think they are edgy. So Denise H says, love the pop of pink with the blacks and gray. Yes, me too. I mean, it is just, this color is divine. Now, you could go up any pop of color. If we had these skulls available, sorry for all the stone noise, if we had these available, I would add these in too. But I love these so much. They're edgy, they're elegant. So I'm going to use 3 of them. And I'm going to make these the center of the design. And what I want to do is I want to start with the center piece. So this is going to be my absolute center point of my necklace. So I'm going to start there. And what I did was I already preloaded on some jump rings. So you've got 2 loops that are forward facing. So in order to string these onto a piece, you'll need some jump rings. So I've got some jump rings here to attach them to my design. And I've got 2 on each loop because I always try to use more than 1 if I can fit them, because it just makes them look a little bit more substantive, makes your piece maybe look a little bit more polished. So I'm going to start with this center point. I'm going to use some beading wire, and let's see, what is Santa Barbara Girl saying? Why does it remind me of the Snow White Wicked Queen? It does. Oh my gosh, it kind of does. I like that. So this could be the Wicked Queen necklace. So I'm going to use some 49 strand wire. I don't know what wire is available. I think the wire is not very available. So I'm going to take my beading wire and I'm just going to check how this hangs. So I'm stringing, these jump rings might not be big enough, but let's see how this works. So I'm going to put my stringing wire through, and it does work, but I think what I'll do is add some seed beads around, in between my jump rings, just to give it a little bit of a finished look. So the 11/0s are chunky enough, and these are going to be hard for you to see, guys, so I'm sorry, but I'll show you a close-up as soon as I can. So let me just size check that. So that's going to be good. And I think 3 on either side of the point of that pendant will be pretty good. We'll see how that looks. So I'm putting this together for the first time. I kind of got the idea in my head, but I did not lay it out or anything yet. So that looks pretty good. I like that. That's going to sit okay. And we're going to have that at the very focal of our piece. And looks like I can't see the comment. Looks like you missed a jump ring. Did I miss a jump ring? I sure did. Ooh, thanks for that. Okay, let's try it again. So when you have 2 jump rings, you gotta make sure you get it through both jump rings. So I always seem to mess something up in the course of a show. It's just, the lights, the heat, all of that in the room. So let me get these back on. Now, I am using these seed beads throughout the whole of the necklace. So once I get through these other 2 jump rings, there we go. I think I got them. So that's what we look like. So I'm going to take a couple more and I'm going to add, I'm going to add 3 here. So I'm going to give myself enough space because the next thing I want to do, I'm going to set those up here, is bring in some spikes. And these are just fun, you guys. If you wanted to add a pop of color, the red ones are available too. And I can't remember if I put the red ones in the show also, but the red ones would make a really cool pop of color with this if you wanted to do it that way. So I'm going to check my clearance for this. I want to make sure that the pendant and the spikes are not bunching up together. And I'm going to put 1 seed bead in between my spikes. So those are going to fan out a little bit that way. Let me make sure you guys can see this. And let me add my I'm going to do a trio of them here. So it's going to look like that. So this is going to make a nice frame for this pendant. And then we're going to do, there's that seed bead that got away. Then I'm going to do 3 more seed beads. And by the way, I'm working from the package of wire. So I like to do that whenever I can. It kind of helps cut down on, waste of wire. So I'm going to grab my next pendant because really these pendants are all part of the focal section. So look at that when you start to bring in the next one. This becomes really dramatic and you are going to make quite the statement if you want to put a piece like this together. And if you wanted to, just an idea, if you don't like the spikes, those beautiful 10 millimeter black onyx would be amazing. So that would also be another design option for you if you wanted some dramatic beads, but maybe that spiky shape is not singing a song to you. Maybe it's not your cup of tea And make sure you get through both those jump rings when you've got multiple jump rings there. So here is how we're shaping up. Now, another option is you could make this your focal. If you don't want to go with 3 of those pendants, you could do 2, and this would be the very center. But we're doing 3, and I'm going to start putting another round of 3 seed beads. Oops, and I'm even having trouble seeing these seed beads. I'm sure you can't see them, but I'm having trouble seeing them too because they are clear. These are so clear. If you wanted one that you could use a black, you could use a pop of color for your seed beads too. So if you have a seed bead in a bright color, we've got a bunch here at beadaholique.com. So you could grab some seed beads, some different colors. You could grab a larger seed bead if you want, maybe an 8-0 instead of an 11-0. Oops, I'm only doing 1 seed bead in between those. I'm glad I caught that. So 3 spikes here and another seed bead if I could see it. And here is the next spike. So that's shaping up, and now I'm going to add 1 more of our pendants. So we need another seed bead on the other side. If I can see the darn seed beads. It's so much easier when you're actually able to look at them closer up and you can actually see them. So here's my pendant. I'm going to take my wire, go through both of those jump rings. Oh my gosh, I love how this looks. This is what I was seeing in my mind's eye when I saw these spikes and I saw these pendants. I knew they were destined to be together, and I knew they were destined to be part of a cool statement necklace. So I think this is really fun. And this, doesn't have to be for for this time of year, for the spooky season. It can be any time of year. So, I love how that's looking. So I'm going to do another round of the spikes on this side of the pendant. And then we're going to go ahead and add on this side, but I'm probably going to string up this side of the necklace first. So we'll get our full design, and then we can just follow the same pattern up that other side. So this is another trio. So this is what our trio up front is going to look like. What do you guys think of this? Do you like this? Interesting? Maybe not your style, but interesting. Maybe giving you some ideas for maybe if you don't want to do this exact thing, maybe gives you some ideas for something else. And Eric, I think the teachers should come. Dressed for spooky holiday. Oh my gosh! So I wore a black shirt, Santa Barbara girl, and I actually thought about putting on one of my little Halloween hats that I have, but I thought maybe it was a bit much for today. But we can come back with hats another time. So here I'm going to get our pop of color. I'm going to cut these beads. By the way, you get a ton of these beads. Like these little guys are gorgeous, and you get a whole ton of them. Nice big long strand. So I'm going to set some of those aside here. Oh gosh, they are going everywhere. Let me put those over here into a dish. Get them in control here. We don't quite need this many. And then I think I want to add some of these too. Like if we're making a statement, like let's make a statement, right? So I'm going to grab some of these, set those over here. And then I'm going to put those in a dish off to the side. And I think I want some of the crystals, some of the Chinese crystals, because they are a little bit bigger than the fire polish. And I think I need a little bit of a bigger bead here. And I'm not sure if I'm loving the calcite here, but I think what I want to do is I'm going to open up these 10 millimeters and see what we might do here. So maybe add these. So I'm going to put a few off to the side there. So the wildness of all the stuff over there is almost too much for me to bear. So I think what I want to do here is just do one little pop of color to bring in our color. So get that little pop of our pink or strawberry or whatever you want to call that. And then I'm going to start with 2 seed beads up the side. So in the center here, I've got different separations for different reasons. So I've got the 3 seed beads in between the pendants and the spikes because I need that clearance. I've got 1 seed bead in between the spikes because I don't want them to be so spread out, but I want them to be able to do their own thing and not be crowded. And so I'm going to just, for the sake of the rest of the necklace, I'm just going to do 2 seed beads. And I'm doing that just to give a little bit of separation, but not too much. And then I'm going to bring in this guy. Actually, no, I'm going to bring in one of these. So one of these little angel wing beads, and I'll show you in a second what this looks like. And grab some seed beads, and then this big guy. Ooh, I think I only want 1 seed bead there. So again, like, you're going to use your seed beads for spacers, but think about how they're going to operate with the other pieces and parts. So I'll show you this in 1 second. Putting 1 more seed bead on and then another one of these angel wings. So let's see what this looks like. So we got a pop of color, and we have that fun little design with the angel wings and the big bead. So I kind of like the way that looks. However, I am not liking the 3 seed beads there. So I think I'm going to go and just quickly take one of those out. So I'm going to grab that pop of color again. And once I'm going to do 2 seed beads here. And I know you can't see the seed beads. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking about you seeing them. I was thinking more about like how cool this would look with the fun clear seed beads, just kind of making this look even a little bit more exotic, maybe a little bit more elegant. I don't know. All right. I like that better. So now we've got some separation and we've got some fun design there. So Debbie J, you're not late, and you can always go back and watch the replay, which I should remind you guys, if you are not aware, you can always go back to beadaholique.com and you can watch the replays. So if you go and find the Learn tab, you can see what's available video-wise. So you can see all of the live videos and all the past videos. And when Beadaholique closes, which sadly is happening, you can go to the YouTube channel. All of the YouTube videos will be retained. So you can always watch replays and you can shop the replay. Now, I can't guarantee that a lot is going to be available, but we encourage you to do that. Shop the replay while you watch, and you can find some treasures maybe that are still available. So if you come to beadaholique.com and check out the replays there, you can find that shopping bag and do your shopping while you watch the replay. So I like this. I like this pattern. This is creating a really fun, some fun texture, a little pop of color, just really a fun statement. So look how that's going to look. So here's our focal section, and then up the side we're adding cat hair. The cat hair is free. Um, there's cat hair on everything in my house. So we're adding texture, we're adding color, we're adding that ethereal look to match up to our pendants. So we've got it all here in this design. So I'm taking I missed a seed bead. So I'm not going to miss a seed bead because I want to make this piece once today. So, let's see. I got 2 seed beads there. Yes. Okay. And you can do whatever pattern you would like. I mean, I know not everybody likes seed beads as spacers. So if you're not a seed bead spacer person, you can pick out some different beads or different spacers, or you don't need to use spacers at all. I like spacers also for the fact that they will help me use less beads. So I might use less beads and be able to have some more of these beads available to me for other designs. So that's just something to think about. When your seed beads are very affordable, most of them. And if you get them 40% off, you can really make them very affordable. And they will be something that you can use in so many different ways. And it will help you stretch your strands out a little bit more. So just something I think about when I'm putting together a design. And I love the dimension that our seed beads add to our pieces. These black onyx beads are absolutely stunning. These are such a lovely quality. I can't believe how nice they are. And when you get them home, you are going to love them. And you might want to use them sparingly, but we're going to use quite a few today. So I'm going to do a quick check, fit check. So I can't do that in front of you, but let me just quickly, I think I have a few more beads to go before I can call this side strung. And I got my wire all botched up in here. All right, so let me add another few beads in our pattern, and then we'll go and cut from our package. So, and some of you might want to do this in on a bead board. So you might want to line up your whole pattern on a bead board, and that will help you to figure out the length and, you know, the way that these beads will come together. So if you happen to like working with a bead board, that's another way that you can lay this out and see how everything might come together and might look when you get everything strung. So I'm loving this. I think this is super fun. And again, like if you pick out some other gemstones that you like, maybe these aren't the colors you like or aren't the shapes that you like. There are just so many ways that you can put a statement necklace together, and you make the statement you want to make, because there are so many ways to make a statement. Oh, I love this. I love, love, love that pop of color too. That just, to me, that just makes it. You could go all dark. You could put the broody calcite in there. Let's see what, just for the fun of it, how that would look. That would look really cool too. Let me hold this up here. You could add one of those. You could add those in there in place of that pop of color. So if you don't want the pop of color, you want this to be a little bit more broody, that might be the way to go. All right, doing my last fit check. So what I do when I get to this stage is I've pulled out quite a bit of wire. So I'm pulling the wire from this direction, and I'm leaving myself just a few inches up top here. And then I'm going to grab one of my bead stoppers and put that right on my last bead. And then I'm going to pull out my wire. So I'm going to make sure all of the beads are where they should be. And I'm going to pull out my wire to be roughly about the same length, and maybe a little bit more for safety's sake and cutting from the package and then winding up all the extra wire and putting the cover back on it, because if I don't do that, this wire is going to be all over the place and messy. So put that back in its place. And now we can go, and I'm going to add one more section of the spikes. So this is going to finish up, now that we've cut from the package, this is going to finish up our focal section. So I've got 3 more spikes, and I'm going to add 3 seed beads here. So we were doing those seed beads to add some spacing between our pendant and our spikes. And then we were doing 1 seed bead in between the spikes to allow those spikes to have some movement, but not be too far apart. And the fact that these seed beads are clear and impossible for us to see at the moment, they also make this a bit of an illusion. So when this is on, this looks a little bit like these are all sort of suspended on their own. So look at that focal section. Isn't that great? I love these pendants. I love the spikes with them. You've got elegant and edgy, just very cool, and edgy and elegant is exactly the way that I would put it. All right, so at the end of our last section of spikes, we did 2 seed beads, and then we start this pattern that we did on the other side. And this is, this is a place where you can do lots of variation, guys. So if you want a little something different here, do a little something different here. And if these gemstones are exactly what you like, I hope that they are still available for you. And the check glass should be available to you. I think I was able to confirm that those were available. So the check glass is also like fantastic for not just this kind of a design, but you can stash these strawberries and these other beautiful crystals away, and you can do all kinds of fun things with them. And I didn't end up using those Chinese crystals after all, but I do like them, and they will come in handy maybe for a matching bracelet or a pair of earrings or something like that. So you can do what you want. You can do all the things with these beads. And I'm about to run out of them on the table here, so I'll have to add them back. And I am super excited about how this is going to look. This is going to be fun. Now, you could also do spikes all the way around this if you wanted. Like, you could get all wild and crazy with the spikes. And you could put spikes all the way around. That would be super duper fun. Sorry, I'm watching a truck back up in front of my house. They are not crashing into my yard, thank goodness. All right, what am I missing here? Santa Barbara Girl says, that will be stuck in my head, Eric. I must have missed, I know I'm missing comments, guys. I get so wrapped up in making that I miss all the comments. I'm sorry about that. All right, so here we go with the black onyx, and I just can't say enough about this black onyx. It is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. I can never not have black onyx in my life. It is just such a beautiful bead. So we're almost there, you guys. We're just making a simple stringing piece, but look at the impact of the different bead shapes, the different colors, and the dimension that we're adding with the seed beads. Just a simple technique makes this amazing piece. So I know sometimes I hear people say, oh, it's just a stringing thing. Well, I don't think this is just anything. This is an amazing statement piece that I think everybody would say does not look basic. Remember that, you know, I'm extra, not basic. I think you can say that here. Just want to be a little extra. So that's what we're doing here. We're being a little extra with our statement piece. All right, how many beads do I still have to go here? So I like to take a look at where I'm at. So make sure that all of the things are lined up. Looks like we just need one more section here, one more section of our beads. And then we have an incredible statement piece. And I'm going to add a very simple toggle clasp to this. Now you could go crazy and add something, you know, rhinestone or something really fancy metal in the back. But I think when you have a piece like this, you can just do something simple unless you want the back to be seen. Maybe you know you're going to wear this with your hair up and you want a little something fancy in the back. But I'm just going to do a very simple toggle. And oops, I missed that seed bead. And we're ending with one of these beads. I'm thinking I can still get my wire back down through that. Let me just check that. I might need to finish with a crystal. So we are going to use 2 crystals. So here's, I want to be able to go back down through a bead. So to finish, the last bead on each side of my piece is going to be one of those little Chinese crystals, one of these guys. So we'll put that here, and then I'm going to take my stopper, put it over here on this side, and grab the seed beads, drop one more on. Perfect. And then I'm going to grab another bead stopper. So guys, I'll show you. If you pick up these black onyx, I still have all of these black onyx beads. So we used 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, and we used 10, and we still have this many. We've got tons of spikes left over, tons of them, and we've got a lot of these strawberries. So with the seed beads, we've not used a ton of our beads. So I'm going to move these out of the way. Move these out of the way. Get my strawberry beads. We still have tons of these left. So many beads. And then let me grab one of my trays and put these guys in. Super fun spikes, really cool. We're going to put those aside, and we're going to put all of this aside so that we don't flip and fling these beads everywhere. So here's our piece. We're going to add a toggle to this one. Oh my gosh, I love this. So I'm going to just quickly do another fit check before I actually put the clasp on. It's always a good idea to check the fit before you put your clasp on, and check to make sure that everything looks consistent. So I'm just going to do a quick scan, make sure everything is where it needs to be. And it's easier for me to kind of see it when the 2 strands are together. So that you'll see sometimes that something's not right when you have the 2 strands next to each other. So, okay, this is how I close a piece. So I'm going to use, like I said, a simple toggle. And if you haven't seen me do this before, I like to use French wire to finish off my ends. I do that because even though this wire is perfectly fine if it's visible, it just kind of makes the wire a little bit more substantive, and it adds another layer of, I don't know, the metallic of the pendant. So I've got a package that's already opened, and I'm going to cut off about 1 inch with my cutters. So that might be just a touch over 1 inch. And you can also use wire guards if you like wire guards. That's perfectly good. Or you could just attach your toggle with your wire. There's no wrong answers here. And I've got some 2x2 crimp tubes. Now, I don't know if all of this is still available at beadaholique.com, but I think I was able to put these things in the show. So I cut my French wire in half, and then I'm going to come over, take one end of my, one end off my bead stopper, put my crimp tube on, and the French wire can be tricky to string on, to be honest. So sometimes I will come in and I'll just cut the tip of my wire at an angle. And then I will grab my French wire, and sometimes it's the French wire that needs a little trim. So I'm just gonna trim that up. Let's see if that will do it. And see if I can get that to go on. That should work. And now the other end is funky. So you just want to make sure that you can see the light through it. So that's a little tough to see, but that's how I do it. And then I will put, I'll hold on to that, and I usually take the toggle bar end of my toggle first and put that on. I don't know why, no particular reason. And I will take my wire, put that through the crimp tube and through the first bead, not through the French wire. You want your French wire to sit on your beading wire. I'm going to pull that all the way tight, and you want your toggle bar to have some movement in that loop. And then I'm going to grab my crimping pliers, and I'm going to come in, crimp in one direction, crimp in the other direction. Give yourself that nice crimp. And then I'm going to pull my wire away, snip off my excess. Now to make sure the rest of this goes smoothly, I'm going to pull my necklace up. So I'm pulling it up past the camera here to let gravity make all of the beads fall where they're supposed to fall. So it will take out the gaps. And then I'm going to let it kind of coil around. You never want to finish your piece in a straight line. That will crowd the beads, maybe crack beads. It will do nasty things. So I'm putting on my crimp tube, I'm putting on my French wire, and taking the other side of my toggle. And then I'm going to pull that away and go through the crimp and the bead. Now, I like to go through a bead because if you were to go through just the crimp and your wire stops here, it's going to have a tendency to push your crimp away and make it hard. Like it'll just kind of distort the end. So if you finish off down here, it's not crowding on anything. So you've got a space there with your seed beads. So you've got like some room for it to kind of, be hanging out there, and you don't have to cut against a bead. Or against a bigger bead. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to trim that off. And then, my friends, we have a statement. We have quite a statement here. So what do you guys think of this? Do you like this fun piece? It's different, but it's super cool, right? So let me see. I'm going to check comments before I flip up. How How do you finish with bead covers? Are you talking about crimp covers? If you're talking about crimp covers, let me see if I've got some crimp covers handy. I don't know if I have any out here. I don't know if I've got any crimp covers here behind me. I don't have crimp covers handy, Dee. I would have to go digging through some boxes, but I don't use crimp covers often. I feel like this looks perfectly finished. These look just really nice up here. I never really use crimp covers because I feel like these look fantastic just the way that they are. So what else are people saying here? Let's see. Linda says, this is beautiful. Debbie J, love this. Donna says, this is beautiful. Thank you, guys. And Susan J says, I do like this necklace. Has a mysterious vibe. Yes, let's be mysterious. Let's be super mysterious. So, guys, I'm going to flip up, and I'm going to give you a reminder here to make sure that you are checking out of your cart. So remember, we talked about the cart thieves earlier. If you don't check out of your cart, you're not guaranteed any of those things that are in your cart. So if you want those things, these things that are already in limited supply, you might miss out. You better check out, better get those things home to you. I love this. This is fun. So I would wear this with more of a crew neck, but I love how this looks. Super fun, statement piece. And even if this isn't your vibe, you guys, there are so many other gemstones. There are so many other fun things for you to work with. Go check out all of the gemstones. They are 40% off. You can't find gemstones 40% off very many places. You can get some check glass to supplement, get some seed beads, get some fun pendants, and create a statement necklace for yourself. Maybe little pieces and parts of what I did today will be inspiring to you guys. I hope it will. Thank you, Kara. And Janice said maybe use peach instead of strawberry, more fall or even Halloween looking. Yes, or orange. You could just go way orange. Thank you, Debbie J. Thank you guys for being here. Check out and complete your order before the end of the show. 40% off everything. And don't forget that Julie Bean will be back on Thursday. I'm like so confused on what day it is this week, but this is Tuesday. Julie will be back on Thursday for her weekly Thursday show. She'll be sharing some fun things with you. She'll also be back next Monday. I love Julie. She is always so inspiring. I'll be back next Tuesday and we'll do something fun again. I appreciate all of you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me. Go make a statement. We'll see you soon. Have a great rest of your week, everybody.